ate barbecue and did these. What'd you think about it?
You know, when you left the house today to work out, you did do kind of an Arnold impersonation. You said, "Mike, I want to be back."
Oh, yeah.
So, but we did eat some barbecue, and that was great. And they got some barbecue over here tonight.
They do. Bar H Barbecue, wonderful barbecue. It is available, folks, right over here. And Mike, that reminds us to remind a few people of a few things that we want to do. And we welcome you right now to Georgia Legends Concert. It is brought to you by the Ty Cobb Museum and sponsored by First Citizens Bank. And we got a few birthdays to do. And the first birthday we want to recognize Charmin Fricks, Wesley's wife. Wesley's wife, she is, can I tell her age, Mike?
Well, Wesley told about 30 people, so go ahead.
Okay. She is 29 again. 29 again. Also, Trish Peacock, happy birthday. And, that's a 50th birthday. That's cool. Trish, where are you? Where's Trish at? Trish, happy 50th birthday to you. And a happy anniversary, 34th anniversary to Randy and Becky Jones. And Mike, I think you've got a couple as well.
Yeah, I've got a couple here that actually their first date was at a T. Graham Brown concert. So we made sure T knew that. And her better half is celebrating a birthday today. Doug Haley, Big Doug is having a birthday. You know Doug? Doug and Joey are here tonight in the house. Now he's embarrassed and he'll even be real mad at me now. And who we got here? Doug. We've got a lady today who will be 91 years young, and she's at this T. Graham Brown concert. Miss Josephine Ginn, happy birthday, Miss Josephine. Where's Miss Josephine at? Right over there. And Stan, I got somebody we want to give a shout out to. What do you think about this? This dude is 10 years old. He's already seen Travis Tritt 5 times in his lifetime. Wow. Came here from Hampton, Georgia. Wow. And his name is Ethan. T. Graham Brown. He's a huge T. Graham Brown fan.
T. Graham Brown. And T. Graham Brown. And this is your 5th or 6th time? 6 times. And he's only 10 years old. That is incredible. Incredible. Well, folks, we do want to remind you the restrooms are in behind you in the back hallway, and the lights do stay on back there. Please take note of around the building. You'll see the exit lights in case of emergency. Not that we're saying there will be one, but just in case. And also, the Swails Center is a non-smoking facility. Now, I know some of you got dressed up and looking hot tonight, but it's a no-smoking facility, so try to keep that hotness down just a little bit. And if you need anything, locate an event staff member. They are wearing tags, and you'll see them around. I know there's several in the hallway. There's a few that are waving their hands back there. And if you need help or assistance, just look for somebody wearing that badge, and they will help you out. Your ticket, by the way, Mike, is good for an admission.
Yes, it is. It's good for admission, so I'm in. My ticket was okay then.
But it's also good for
admission to the Ty Cobb Museum. How many of you have never been to the Ty Cobb Museum? Raise your hand. Oh, well, now you get a chance to go. This is going to get you in. This is an awesome museum. There's people from all over the United States, Stan, that come in here. And a lot of people, we just sit around and we never check it out. And it's going to be getting bigger and better in the years to come. And I want to just say right now, Stan, that Wesley Fricks and his staff, I want you guys to raise your hand, you guys and gals. They've done an awesome job of setting up this event tonight. Wesley's running around here tonight. He forgot his name a few minutes ago. So.
Not only that, he has lost just about everything. And if I can say, one of his things he lost was, I can't say where it was, but he lost his whole notebook earlier. But I tell you, Wesley's doing a fine job, and the whole staff, and it's just awesome. And I tell you what, it's awesome to have some great music, isn't it? Isn't it great? Sometimes you have to drive to Nashville, Tennessee to see some of the great music like you'll see tonight, and to have it right here in Royston, Georgia at the John W. Swails Center is incredible. I went to college here right across the street to Emmanuel College, and we never had anything cool like this that I remember. If we did, I don't remember, but I think this was called West Clock back then. Is that right? Yes. So this was they made clocks here back when I was in college. That shows you how old I am, folks. But I tell you what, it is good. Georgia Legends Concert brought to you by the Ty Cobb Museum. Folks, a lot of you raised your hand. Do check out that museum. Really cool, the life and story of Ty Cobb and all the memorabilia there. And again, special thanks to First Citizens Bank. So cool. And I think there's some merch around here as well.
Yes, Southern Impactt, got some merch right back there, right, guys? And by the way, how many people have never heard Southern Impactt? Raise your hand. This is your first time listening to these cats tonight. Stan, they're awesome. They're awesome. This is a great group. You're going to love them.
That is right. And I want to find out, before we talk about where they're from and things like that, I want to know how many of you in here, and let's just say, are from South Carolina? Okay, I heard a woo. Thank you. We got one person from South Carolina. Wait a minute, I'm hearing more people from South Carolina. All right, how many people from North Carolina? Tennessee, Bangladesh, Georgia. Man, the Georgia folks coming out tonight. All right, I tell you what. All right, let's talk about counties. How many people are from Oglethorpe County? All right, Madison County. All right, Hart County. Elbert County. Franklin County. Franklin County's showing up too, Mike. That is cool stuff. Well, I tell you what, I want to talk a little bit about Southern Impactt. This band, this group, they have been known to be in Western South Carolina. They've been known to vacation around the world. You can see them around Commerce. You'll see them Athens. You'll see them everywhere. But they have made their way coming up right here in Royston tonight at the John W. Swails Center. Do you want to start hearing a little music tonight, folks? Maybe a little bass drum start bumping. I think you do. Doom, 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 doom. All right, Mike, I think they're coming. They may have lived in Martin. They may live in Anderson. They may live in Commerce, even in Cleveland, Georgia. But tonight, they're coming.
They're here, folks. Are you ready for Southern Impactt?
Give it up, Southern Impactt, ladies and gentlemen.
That lonesome Texas sun was setting slow, and in the rearview mirror I watched it go. I could still see the wind in her golden hair. I closed my eyes a moment and I'm still there. The bluest skies in Texas are haunting me tonight, like the stars that fill the midnight sky. Her memory fills my mind. Did I wait too long? Oh, can I make it right? The bluest skies in Texas are haunting me tonight, yeah. Another town, another hotel room, another dream that ended way too soon. Left me lonely, praying for the dawn, searching for a strength to carry on. Yeah, the bluest skies in Texas are haunting me tonight, like the stars that fill the midnight sky. Her memory fills my mind. Did I wait too long? bluest eyes in Texas are haunting me tonight. Yeah, yeah. For every dream you dream, you pay a price. Well, I can't forget the tears in her blue eyes, yeah. The bluest eyes in Texas are haunting me tonight. Like the stars that fill the midnight sky, her memory fills my mind. Did I wait too long? Oh, can I make it right? The bluest eyes in Texas are haunting me tonight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To be a bad man. I got girls in the booth, I got girls in the place, I got girls that can do anything in between. I got to be ready to make everything right. All my riding friends are coming over tonight. Do you wanna drink? Do you wanna party? Oh, this is rock and roll. Come on and get the thing started. Riding friends are coming over tonight. Yeah, but my party pad is out in the woods. It's a long, long way from here to Hollywood. Got some natural queens out on the floor. Mississippi just fall through the door. I got a little well blue just made for them. You can jump out or you can jump in and do anything that you wanna do. But all those step on my cowboy blues. Friends are coming over tonight. everybody doing tonight?
Thank you.
Woo! Y'all ready for T. Graham Brown? I am too. We appreciate everybody coming out tonight and listening to us. We want to thank Tacop Museum for having us today. And we want to thank each and every one of y'all for spending your evening with us. We're going to play a variety of music tonight. Hope you like each and everything. Have a good time. Here we go.
Watching the summer sun fall out of sight. There's a warm wind coming in off of the ocean, making its way past the hotel walls to fill the streets. Mary is holding both of her shoes in her hand. Says she likes to feel the sand beneath her feet. In the morning I'm leaving, making my way back to Cleveland. So tonight I hope I will do just fine. And I don't see how you could ever be anything but mine. There's a local band playing at the Seaside Pavilion. I got just enough cash to get us in. And as we're dancing, Mary's wrapping her arms around me. I can feel the steam of summer on our skin. In the midst of the music, I tell her I love her. We both laugh, cause we know it is untrue. Oh, but Mary, there's a summer drawing to an end tonight. There's so much that I want to do with you. In the morning I'm leaving, making my way back to Cleveland. So tonight I will do just fine. And I don't see you could ever be anything but mine. Oh yeah. In the morning I'm leaving, making my way back to Cleveland. So tonight I hope I will do just fine. And I don't see how you could ever be anything but mine. Baby, I don't see how you could ever be anything but mine. In the morning I'm leaving, making my way back to Cleveland. So tonight I hope I will do just fine. And I I don't say you could ever be anything but mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Little Kentucky headhunters for you. You say you're sorry, want to bring me. Oh, you want me to take you back once more. You say, Lord, you need a helping hand for what you told me once before. Walk softly home with the heart of my love. Don't treat her mean and so unkind. Let it rest in peace and quiet love. Walk softly on this heart of mine. Walk on. Someday you'd find me a new love. Yeah, I feel my heart had turned to stone, girl. Well, please, won't you let me down real easy? All wrong is it moves in, you move on. Walk softly on this heart of mine, love. But don't treat it mean and so unkind. Let it rest in peace, quiet love. Walk softly on this heart of mine. On this heart of mine, walk softly on this heart of mine. Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all being here with us tonight. You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips. There's no tenderness like before your fingertips. It makes me just feel like crying, baby. Well, baby, something beautiful dying. You lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. You lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone, gone, gone. Whoa, whoa. There's no welcome look in your eyes when I reach for you. And you started now to criticize the little things I do. It makes me just feel like crying, baby. Oh, baby, something beautiful's dying. You lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. You've lost that love and feeling. Now it's gone, gone, gone. Whoa. Baby, baby, I get down on my knees for you. If you would only love me like you used to do. Well, yeah, we had love, love, love you don't find every day. So don't let it slip away. 'Cause baby, 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 I need your love. I need your love. Rain on me. Bring back that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. Bring back that love and feeling. Now it's gone, gone, gone. And I can't go on. Whoa, whoa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
We have anybody in the audience that likes a little Eagles music? Yeah, we do too. That's one of our favorite bands. It's a little rocky here, but we're gonna put this one out for you tonight.
He was a hard-headed man. He was brutally handsome. She was terminally pretty. She held him up and he held for ransom in the heart of the cold, cold stand. He had a nasty reputation as a cruel little dude. They said he was ruthless. They said he was cruel. They had one thing in common. They were beauty and beat. She said, faster, faster, the lights are turning red. Lights in the fast lane.
Anybody heard of Lionel Richie? I bet you have, haven't you? Here comes Josh Ritchie.
Stuck on you. Got this feeling down deep in my soul. I just can't lose. Guess I'm on my way. It's so hard to see that a woman like you'd wait around for a man like me. Guess I'm on my way. Mighty glad you stayed. I'm stuck on you. I've been a fool too long. Girl, it's time for me to come back home. Guess I'm on my way. Oh, I needed a friend, and the way I feel now, girl, I'll be with you in the end. Guess I'm on my way. Mighty glad you stayed. Oh, I'm leaving on that midnight train tomorrow, and I know just where I'm going. I packed up my troubles and I'm throwing them all away. Cause it's time, my little darling, I'm coming home to stay. I'm stuck on you. Got this feeling down deep in my soul, girl, I just can't lose. Guess I'm on my way. Oh, I needed a friend, and the way I feel now, girl, I'll be with you in the end. Guess I'm on my way. Mighty glad you stayed. Oh, mighty glad you stayed. Little Lionel Richie right there for you. Here's a little something to tap your toe to. Here it comes. Been working so hard, I'm punching my car. 8 hours for what? Oh, tell me what I got. I got this feeling time is holding me down. I'll hit the ceiling, or else I'll tear up this town. Well, I gotta cut loose, foot loose, kick off your Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, pull me off from my knees. Jack, get back, come on before we crack. Loose your blues, everybody cut foot loose. You're playing so cool, obeying every rule. Way deep down in your heart, you're burning and yearning for somebody. off your Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, pull me up from my knees. Jack, get back, come on before we crack. Lose your blues, everybody cut foot loose. Yeah. You got to turn it around and put your feet on the ground. Gotta take hold of it all. Well, I'm turning it loose, a foot loose. Kick off your Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, pull me up from my knees. Jack, get back, come on before we crack. Loose your blues, everybody cut foot loose, foot loose. Kick off your Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, pull me up from my knees. Jack, get back, come on before we crack. Loose your blues. Here we go. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, foot loose.
Thank you so much. We are so glad you're here with us tonight.
Out here tonight.
Yeah. The louder you are, the more you drowned us out. How about that? We got a tune here we're going to do just a short clip of so I can introduce the band here, each member of the band. Make noise for each one of them. The more you holler at them, the better they actually play. So that's always a good thing.
Unfortunately, we don't look no better.
That's true.
Little humor there, very little.
Lord, you better slow that Mustang down. Yeah, Mustang Sally. Lord, you better slow that Mustang down. You've been running all over town. Better get to blasting up around. Oh, bring it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take 1 second here to wish you a happy birthday tonight. Somewhere in this audience, Miss Trish Peacock. Y'all give it up for the birthday. All right, we're going to get down to this band here. All the way to my right, your left, playing bass guitar from Comer, Georgia. Y'all know where that's at. Make welcome Mr. Randy Moss. And standing right beside him with the black hat on, the legend himself. All the way from right here in Royston. Playing lead guitar, lead vocals, harmony vocals. Make welcome Mr. Doug Moss. Woo, yeah, all the way in the back here. By way of Cleveland, Georgia, via Hartwell, Georgia. Playing drums, lead vocals, harmony vocals, and I'm talking about singing up there high. Make welcome Mr. Wes O2. Right here to my left, the man of steel himself. Our steel guitar player all the way from East Denali, Georgia. Make welcome Mr. Vernon Hendricks. Woo! And somewhere hiding back here is our manager. Oh, he's right there to the left of the stage. Without him, we couldn't do all this, and we appreciate all the work he puts in it. All the way from Commerce, Georgia, our manager, Mr. Eddie Dumas. Right here front and center. Y'all do not hold this against him. From Anderson, South Carolina. It's all right. It's all right.
I don't think they were booing me, okay?
Yeah, that's good. Lead vocals, acoustic guitar, Make welcome Mr. Josh Vickery.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, to my left right here, playing lead guitar, rhythm guitar, lead vocals, backup vocals, jack of all trades. From Hartwell, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Rodney Coward. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Put all that together and you got Southern Impact.
That's right.
And thank you guys for coming out and being with us.
Who's about ready for T. Graham Brown here shortly?
Got a little Travis Tritt number for you right here.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I was raised on country classics like Roy Cuff and George Jones. You know why I love to hear 'em play them old time country songs. Yeah, but I really got excited about the time I turned 15. That's the first time I heard Waylon and old Hank Jr. sing. Put some drive in your country, I keep country driving on. Put some drive in your country, I keep country driving on. Said when the music gets you moving, you know it can't be wrong. Well, every time I hear that song on my car radio, it makes me wanna drive it as fast as it'll go. Put some drive in your country, yeah, keep country driving on. We played a show in Atlanta on a Sunday afternoon. The place was packed and I was nervous. I wanted them folks to like my tune. The place was full of younger people. They were all about my age. I turned and told the band before we took the stage, put some drive in your country, I keep country driving on. Put some drive in your country, I keep country driving on. Said when the music gets you moving, you know it can't be wrong. Well, every time I hear that song on my car radio, it makes me wanna drive it as fast as it'll go. Put some drive in your country, I'll keep country driving on. Whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put some drive in your country, or keep country driving on. Said when the music gets you moving, you know it can't be wrong. Well, every time I hear that song on my car radio, it makes me wanna drive it as fast as it'll go. Put some drive in your country, keep country driving on. Yeah, yeah, put some drive in your country, keep country driving on. country. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to do this next song. So this, we do this every show we play. We'd like to send out a tribute to our people in uniform, our police that keep us safe, and our military that keeps us safe here at home. We couldn't have functions like this without those people. We always do a little Southern tribute to all those folks.
Y'all sing with us if you know it.
I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old time there, are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away.
Try to stand up, everybody.
Where I was born, on a cold and frosty morn. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland.
That's right. God bless the United States.
I wish I was in Dixie, way, way in Dixieland. I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Dixieland, where I was born, on a cold and frosty morn. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Somebody go ahead. Glory, glory, hallelujah. It's true that mountain, oh. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know your daddy's about to die, but oh, my trials, Lord, soon be over. Sing with us. Oh, Southern Impactt. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
And let's see if this works. Yes, it does. Y'all give it up for Southern Impactt. Wow. Give it up. Georgia Legends concert is already underway. And boy, we have taken a trip with Southern Impactt. And I tell you what, they've got merchandise right back here at the back wall. And you want to head back there to meet and greet this band as we await the one Mike Atkinson.
T's going to be coming up. Man, again, guys, that was awesome Southern Impactt. What a great, great job. Get a chance to see Southern Impactt again, please do so. You know, Stan, I was thinking, I've heard this week so many T. Graham Brown stories, and I know you have too from people calling. There was the guy that said his wife went to school with T. Graham Brown. And then I had a listener that said that his cousin Earl, who has a cousin on his daddy's side who lived down the road about 10 miles on the right, actually had a neighbor who had a sister who passed T. Graham Brown's tour bus on I-75 one time.
That's true.
Now, that's pretty daggum close to knowing the guy, I'm thinking.
Look, I have had phone calls. I come into the radio station in the morning. They said there's 8 messages that people want to call you back and let you know that they know T. Graham Brown. And I said, oh, okay. And I called one of them, and it was a similar story, except they saw him at a restaurant. They said, my neighbor's cousin was on the road and met T. Graham at the restaurant. And everybody's related. Is anybody here related to T. Graham Brown? I have a friend here somewhere he's here that's related to him. I'm looking for him, but everybody has a T. Graham Brown story. And ladies and gentlemen, he's coming up. You just wait, he's coming up. We do want to remind you of a few things. Definitely check out Southern Impactt and their merchandise table in the back. And barbecue is still available, I believe, over here to the back corner. And Bar H Barbecue is available back there. They're selling plates as well. And, of course, restrooms are located right back here in the back hallway. And be mindful all exit locations. We always remind you to think safety. No smoking. And if you need anything during this concert tonight, just look for event staff and they'll have the badge. I want to give a big shout out again to my friend Mike Atkinson. We've been best friends for about an hour and a half. And but I tell you what, local radio is where great music comes from. And I tell you what, the local radio, WKLY, they do a fantastic job. In Hartwell, Mike Atkinson does a wonderful job. And they are now on FM 104.1. And so you always, if you're in Hart County or driving through, check out 104.1 WKLY and tune in to Mike Atkinson in the morning. But definitely in the 8 o'clock hour, go to 105.3 for just a little bit. That's okay with you, Mike.
Oh, we'll let it slide this time, Stan. Hey, is anybody here went to Clark Central High School in the Classic City? Anybody from Clark Central? Because I think that's where T went to school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Clark Central High School. We got a Clark Central right over there. Yeah. Gladiators, yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool. But yeah, Stan, T, you want to know my T. Graham moment?
Yes.
He actually called the radio station, and I hung up on him because I thought it was one of those prankster calls. Yeah, I really. I thought it was somebody trying to get me that I won $1 million, but I had to send him $900,000.
Right. I've been there before, Mike. I've been there before.
But I'm not sure you get those calls. But that was my T moment. But I did get a chance to meet him tonight. Super guy, and boy, he's going to put on a show. Stan, what is your favorite T. Graham Brown song?
I tell you, turn the wine back into water. I love that. I love that song, and I think of the story of that too, of the life that we all have. A life. T. Graham's got a life he'll probably share tonight, but it's just hearing the stories of coming back to gospel music. You know, T. Graham Brown has got some gospel records now too. Did y'all know that? Y'all like gospel? And And so gospel music is such a big thing, but I tell you, T. Graham's just one of those great artists that you can talk to like the old days, Mike. A lot of artists now are busy, and sometimes they won't take time to speak, but T. Graham Brown always takes times to speak to the fans and to the folks. And folks, if you hadn't met T. Graham Brown, you will tonight, because he's that kind of guy, and he's just awesome. So we can't wait to hear some of those hit songs too, like Darlene. And he's got the hits just keep on coming. And I tell you, but I love that song, Turn the Wine Back into Water.
Yeah, I would say my favorite songs would be Darlene. My wife's name is Duneen, so we kind of got that confused there. And then He'll Take Care of You. Y'all love that song with he and Vince? Awesome, awesome song. I like all of them, man. I mean, if T. Graham, he did a beach song, that I love that one too. He can do any kind of music. Man, he's awesome.
That's right. You name it, he can do it, and he can belt them out like nobody can. So we're awaiting T. Graham Brown. We want y'all to stay excited. We want to appreciate Southern Impactt for really bringing in that bass drum and that awesome steel guitar. Awesome music, fellas. And again, the Georgia Legends concert brought to you by the Ty Cobb Museum and sponsored by First Citizens Bank. It couldn't happen without them. Make sure to save your tickets to see the Ty Cobb Museum. That is a wonderful thing. And I want to give a shout out. Ty Cobb meant so much to Royston area. Another guy that heard, my grandmother grew up. My grandmother lived on Highway 106 in Carnesville, and growing up, I heard so many Ty Cobb stories from her and different things about Ty Cobb, and I'm sure people have heard Ty Cobb stories as well. All three of my children were born at Ty Cobb Hospital, which is now a memory. Give it up for Ty Cobb Hospital, because without Ty Cobb, that wouldn't have happened, and so it's such a great memory. But the Ty Cobb lives on through the museum, and what a great baseball player. And I know there's stories out there. But he definitely was a great guy because of his giving that he did for the hospital. So go see the Ty Cobb Museum when you can. And special thanks to Wesley and his great staff tonight, the Ty Cobb Museum. And this would not be happening without Wesley and his great staff. That's right. Give him a shout out. Oh, there he is right there. Yeah. Uh-oh, he's fixing to bring a birthday girl. No, let's see. Birthday girl?
Alex. This is Alex. Thank him.
And very special thanks. Alex, how are you doing? We want to give a very special thanks to First Citizens Bank. Alex, y'all have helped make this possible, and we appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you. It's a great show so far. Happy to be here.
Awesome. And it's going to get better. They say you're doing a solo tonight.
Yeah, right now.
He's doing it solo. You can't hear him.
I'm good.
Okay, well, thank you, Alex, and thanks First Citizens Bank so much as well, making this a very incredible show. Music wouldn't be possible without local radio, and I am Stan the Man from 105.3 and 1400, that's FM, 1400 AM, and of course, Mike Atkinson, and y'all are now on FM 104.1.
Yes, we are 104.1 and AM 980, and stream us live at WKLYradio.com. One last thing, Stan. Ty Cobb, the old story was, used to walk from Royston to Diamond Hill to play baseball. That's how much he loved it. Did anybody walk from Diamond Hill to the Civic Center here tonight? Did y'all walk to the Swails Center? Anybody from Diamond Hill? Slackers, come on now. We got one back there that tried to make the walk. Try to make that walk. He didn't have Highway 29, a nice paved highway. So this guy was an amazing player. And, you mentioned Babe Ruth's name. You got to mention Ty Cobb. The two most iconic baseball figures in the history of the game, and the dude was born and raised right here in Franklin County. That is awesome.
It's incredible. I had to go to see, you've probably watched the movie Ty Cobb, and I had to go see the mausoleum over there after I watched the movie and just kind of take in all, and to think that my kids were born there and all that happened there. And of course, going to school at Emmanuel, a lot of family here in Franklin County. And by the way, do I have any relatives out there today? Any relatives? If you're here, make sure, I see mom and dad. Hey, mom and dad. And didn't know if I had any other relatives. I have one back there. I want to see anybody that I'm related to. So Love to see y'all tonight. So, but Mike, this is it's like some great fellowship tonight, great music, and of course local radio. These are two stations that we represent that are what are the heartbeat of music today, and that's local radio. It's a difference between what I call cookie cutter and local radio. When you turn your radio in the morning, you're going to hear a mic like on 104.1 WKLY at 9:80 a.m. You're going to hear Stan the Man, Scott Smith, John Hubbard. Does anybody know who John Hubbard is? Okay, John Hubbard. You're going to hear local radio, and that's where these songs, whenever you hear these songs from T. Graham Brown, it's local radio at its best. So, and we play great country music as well as WKOY.
Stan, I notice your parents are sitting over there, right? They wanted to keep some distance from you, but do you have any, I know that from our staff, I want you guys to stand up over here. We've got Colby, Ray, Bruce, guys from our staff. You got guys from your staff here today. Are you representing?
Did you know I am representing 105.3 except for our bodyguard, in which he is sitting three seats back. But Rock Evans is here, and he is known as our bodyguard, but he's so far back, he's not protecting me tonight.
I see that he's keeping distance from you too. So, okay, listen, I'm geared up. I've been fired up for this concert since I knew that he was going to be here. And Stan, you know, your listeners, my listeners alike, they have been raring to go for this thing. They can't wait for T.
That's right. T. Graham Brown has been the talk all week. I went to a great customer. I'm also Stan of Stan's Music World, a great place to buy a Martin guitar, but I'm not trying to plug that right now. I guess I just did. But anyway, Ralph Kaiser, I know he's here. He's a cousin to T. Graham. And I'm trying to look at hands. I thought I saw one back here. There he is. There's Ralph. Ralph Kaiser. And we talked about it the other night and just getting geared up for it. And a lot of phone calls, like you said, Mike, that people calling in about how they know T. Graham or went to school with T. Graham Brown or lived near the family. And it's just incredible. So, but I tell you what, to have the sounds of Nashville tonight coming back here, and you know, it's incredible, and we await it. Now, folks, if you do need to get something to eat, go to the restrooms. Now is a great time because we're just minutes away from T. Graham Brown hitting the stage right here in Royston, Georgia. All right, we're going to give you all a little break, and we'll be right back up here in about 5 minutes. Mike Atkinson will be signing autographs right over here to the left.
And Stan will be over here signing him autographs, by the way.
In the 1919 season, helping him capture his 12th and final batting title.
This year, the Ty Cobb Museum wanted to celebrate the century mark of this milestone with two very special trading cards.
10 limited edition memorabilia cards have been created, each showcasing bat shavings from a certified Ty Cobb game-used bat. Collect your limited edition bat shaving card at tycobb.org/store or by visiting the Ty Cobb Museum.
Clifford Ridgeway.
Reggie?
Ridgeway.
Ridgeway. Okay.
Her mama and Ty Cobb's mama's sister.
Her mother and Ty Cobb's mother were sisters, and so you're a cousin of Ty Cobb.
First cousin.
First cousins. That is amazing. And you still live here in the area?
In Royston.
In Royston. Did
At the Gables, assisted living.
Okay, the Gables. I know where that is. Ma'am, would you have known Miss Annie Mae Lunsford or Annie Mae McCullum, or would you remember? You don't know? Okay. She passed away. That was my grandmother, and she always talked highly of the Ty Cobb family, and she lived in Carnesville area.
Well, he retired the year I was born, so I never knew him as a baseball player.
Okay.
But he was a nice man.
That's all I really hear. That there's stories out in the world, but I've always heard how great he is and how nice he was, and obviously very generous to his community and his hometown.
Yeah, I suppose. It wasn't to me, though.
Well, but thank you so much for coming up, and it's, well, it's awesome to get to meet you and just see the history of Ty Cobb and the family that lives here too. So it's so cool to see that. Miss Ridgway, thank you so much. Thank you, Wesley. First cousins to Ty Cobb. Well, we do thank you all for coming out tonight. Bar H Barbecue back there, the restrooms right back here in the hallway, so you can get freshened up for round 2. And Mr. T. Graham Brown coming up right on this stage in about 5 minutes.
Baseball Hall of Famer Ty Cobb made an American League leading 191 hits during the 1919 season, helping him capture his 12th and final batting title.
This year, the Ty Cobb Museum wanted to celebrate the century mark of this milestone with 2 very special trading cards.
10 limited edition memorabilia cards have been created, each showcasing bat shavings from a certified Ty Cobb game-used bat. Collect your limited edition bat shaving card at tycobb.org or by visiting the Ty Cobb Museum.
First Citizens Bank. Because money isn't everything, but so much depends on what you do with your money. First Citizens Bank. Forever first. First Citizens Bank. Because money isn't everything, but so much depends on what you do with your money. First Citizens Bank. Forever first. First Citizens
You know, Jerry Reed used to say, son. You remember that? And so this is Mike Atkins. And if you thought you heard me say son a while ago, it's because I said Mike Atkins, son. That's awesome.
It's the echo. It's the echo.
It's the echo. That's what it is. Well, I tell you what, it's amazing how you know people. Me and Mike Atkins just found out we probably know each other way better than we ever thought. And it's just so crazy, but that's what fellowship does. And tonight, it's all about some great music, some great fellowship. And are y'all ready to hear some great music? From Grammy-nominated Nashville recording and touring right now in Royston, Georgia.
Make more noise. Come on, stand, jump for him. Come on, noise, stand up. Are you ready? Stand, we'll do it together. For the legend, T.
Graham Brown!
artist, Grammy nominee, CMA Award winner, Mr. T. Graham Brown.
Hey, y'all. It's good to be in Royston. I got to go to the Ty Cobb Museum a while ago and had a blast. Well, now I'm headed into Memphis, Tennessee. The one place in this world I can get something good to eat. I'm hungry for some loving and some fried chicken. Goes down greasy, ain't a licking. I know just where to go. There's this woman I know. She shakes it up right, lets it simmer real slow. Memphis women, fried chicken. Memphis women, chicken. Well, now over on Union, there's a good old gal. She can smoke a pig, can fry some fowl. Got biscuits in her oven and cornbread in the pan. Well, I get by to see her every chance I can. I catch a whip when I turn the corner. My mouth starts to water, and I'm a goner for that Memphis women, fried chicken. Memphis women, chicken. Well, I'll take my old guitar, go down on Beale, play some good blues, and get a real good meal. And I don't care if whiskey ever hits my lips, as long as I get a taste of them barbecued ribs. Well, there's a woman up on a bluff, makes a living making pies. Got chocolate covered fingers, dark blueberry eyes. Got that light powdered sugar sprinkled all in her hair. Her apple turnover is beyond compare. When it's hot, legs sticky, and you want some cool and sweet, she keeps her handle cranking when that homemade ice cream. Memphis women, fried chicken. Memphis women and chicken. Yeah, I'll take my old guitar and go down on Beale, play some good blues and get a real good meal. I don't care if whiskey ever hits my lips, as long as I get a taste for them barbecue ribs. Makes a living making pies. Got chocolate covered fingers, dark blueberry eyes. Got that light powdered sugar, it's sprinkled all in her hair. Her apple turnover is beyond compare. When it's hot, legs sticky, you want some cool and sweet, she keeps her handle cranking on that homemade ice cream. Memphis women, fried chicken. Memphis women, chicken. Memphis women, good fried chicken. Memphis women, chicken. Hey, y'all. Let's tell it like it used to be, as they say. Oh. Well, baby, 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 you know that's right. They say that I'm the kind of man who always speaks his mind. To me, there's nothing stronger than the truth. They can ask me almost anything, and I'll tell it like it is. But darling, when they ask me about you, I'll tell it like it used to be. When you were still in love with me, before you got too used to me. And what if someone new, I tell it like it ought to be. 'Cause how it is, it's killing me. When they ask about you and me, I tell it like it used to be. I wish that I was stronger, I could tell them that you're gone. Well, but that's one thing that I may never do. If they want to hear about our love and how it all went wrong, well, darling, they'll just have to talk to you. I tell it like it used to be. When you were still in love with me, before you got too used to me. And what if someone new, I tell it like it ought to be. 'Cause how it is, it's killing me. When they ask about you and me, I tell it like it used to be. Hit me back. I tell it like it used to be. When you were still in love with me, before you got too used to me. And what if someone new, I tell it like it ought to be. 'Cause how it is killing me. Well, when they ask about you and me, I tell it like it used to be. Oh, yes, I do, baby. I love y'all too. I love you too, Ethan. I got my buddy Ethan over there. Hey, Ethan, how old are you? Be 10 in August? In June. Ethan, you live in Griffin, don't you? Do you? Ethan had his foot corrected. His foot was kind of turned in, and the doctors operated on it. They cut this. What's this bone called? The femur? Is it the femur? What's your thigh bone called? Thigh bone? That's probably right. That's simpler. That's simpler, your thigh bone. Anyway, they operated on it. If what I understand right, they were able to turn his foot around. Is that right? And got it all straightened out. Now he's going to be able to get around better.
Looks nothing like it was. Completely changed. A good throw.
I love you very much, Ethan. Thanks, man. He's a big fan. He's one of my biggest fans. He can sing just like me. I sent him Sheila and I sent him a CD player and some headphones, and
I understand he's really been wearing out the batteries and that thing. So, you know, I think of a lot of different things when I'm singing, and I never know what my mind's going to do. And when I was singing, I tell it like it used to be, I got to thinking that when we moved to Nashville, I had been in Athens, and I was with a friend of mine named Dirk Howell, and it was Dirk and Tony. And we did that for 3 years over at the Holiday Inn. And we would get up in the morning and go to class at Georgia and then sing at night. And I did that for 3 years. Then, because I did a meet and greet a while ago, and I had all these people, and over at Ty Cobb Museum, they gave us a tour, and so they were talking to me over there about how they used to come see me at the B&L warehouse in Athens. So I put this band together called T. Graham Brown and Rio Diamond, and we did that for 3 years. Then I put a band together called T. Graham Brown's Rack of Spam. And Sheila and I've been together for 40 years, and Sheila's, yeah. So Sheila was going to vet school over at Georgia, so she'd been admitted to vet school, and she had to get a couple of master's degrees before she could get admitted in there. And she came home. We were living behind Mom and Them's house at Route 4 Commerce, off the Commerce Nice Road. And see, I've had people talking to me all day about stuff. And so anyway, she came in and she said, "Why don't we move to Nashville?" And I'd always been scared to move. I just couldn't work up the courage to move. And I said, "Well, what about vet school?" And she said, "Well, we can move up there, and if you don't go, you'll be second guessing yourself the rest of your life." And she said, "We can go up there, and if it doesn't work out, I can come back. I can always go to vet school." So I've said all that she took a job at this department store in Nashville, working at the cosmetics counter, and then she waited on tables at night so that I could go over to Music Row and start all over singing songwriter demos. A songwriter will write a song, and if they can't sing very well, they'll hire somebody to sing the demo, and then they'll take the demo and play it for producers around town or record label executives and try to get the song recorded. And so I used to do them. Vince did them. Trisha Yearwood. There's a whole lot of Carrie Underwood did them. There's a whole lot of people. It's a good way to start out, and it gets your voice around town. So when I was singing a minute ago, I got to thinking. I heard Randy Travis on the radio a couple of days ago in the car, and he was singing the song 1982. And I got to thinking, I sang the demo on that song. Two of my buddies from Clark Central High School, that's where I went to high school, wrote it. And so it was like two Athens boys wrote it. I sang the demo on it. Randy cut it. And the song was originally called 1962, and Randy and them changed it to 1982, and he had a big hit on it. So I got to thinking about, I sang the demo on I Tell It Like It Used to Be. And it sat on a shelf for a couple of years, and I was able to record it when I was signed to Capitol Records, and we had a good record on it. It got me started. But I remember the day that it was like the first quote-unquote big demo that I'd ever done. And the publishing company had an office on 17th Avenue, which is Music Row. People say 16th Avenue, but 16th and 17th is Music Row. And I remember they had offices in that building. It was about a 5-story building. And they had these offices, and they had balconies. And they would open these big doors and let the breeze come in, and you could always hear music coming out of those doors when you're riding up down the street. But anyway, I walked out. It was a 10 o'clock session. The sessions are 10, 2, 6, and 10 every day. There's 3-hour sessions and an hour between so the players can get to their next session. And we did that demo at 10, I went back in to sing it at 2, and as I was walking out the door, they had already gotten that thing, and somebody was playing it in their office, and the door was open, and it was coming out on the music row, and I was walking back to the car, and I heard it, and it was like, man, you know, hey, here I am in Nashville. And I started crying. It was such a cool feeling. So I just thought y'all, it's a fun fact. I used to get the, I used to get the Atlanta Constitution, and you'd open it up to the funny papers, and it always had this thing. It was called a fun fact. Fun things to know and tell. That's what it was. When I was a kid, I would always turn it to the fun fact. And Sheila threw the Constitution. That's how she paid her tuition. She threw the Constitution for 7 years. She'd get in her little Volkswagen. She'd go down about 3 o'clock and fold papers up and put rubber bands around them and load that Volkswagen up, back seat and front seat, and then go out throwing papers and then go to school. Very industrious. Sheila, I love you. She's back there somewhere. So anyway, thought I'd tell you that. Now, I met a woman a while ago. I don't ever meet people with a unusual name. I've signed every name, signing autographs over the last 40 years. And every now and then I meet somebody different that's got a different name. And I met a lady a while ago. Her name is Deneen. Where you at? You in there somewhere? You're out there somewhere. I know. Deneen, there she is. You didn't think I'd remember, did you? So I'm going to sing Darlene, except I'm going to try to remember and sing Deneen.
1, 2, 3.
One more time. Sit down, I need to talk to you. Then you do what you want to do, but just hear me through. Darling, you don't need no other guy. When you gonna realize how much I love you? Want you The rest is history. Yeah. Darling, honey, I've got all you ever need. I love you, baby, if you'll go with me. Darling, honey, I can give you everything, and I want you for my darling. Darling, I said I want you for my darling. Darling, oh, I need you for my darling. Yes.
The bass, when the bass.
I wasn't used to saying that, and I got messed up. Deneen, that's the first. Let's do, I remember when this next song came out, because Sheila was pregnant with Acme, and she was in the video of it. And he's 29, be 30. So 30 from 2019 is 1989. See, I know that. I know that. Kick it off, guy back here, man. Well, I'm giving a party tonight with champagne and pink party lights. I hope you'll attend if you're free. Come as you were before you stop loving me. Now my party is BYOL. So bring your old love you once felt, and don't bother to RSVP. Come as you were before you stop loving me. If you're sorry that you've hurt me and you've seemed like, do me a party favor, girl, and love me tonight. 'Cause my party, it could be so much fun, oh yes, if only you'll just say you'll come. If here is where you long to be, was thinking about showing them a move, but
It's a little early, no?
it's a little early. I'll wait. I'll show them my move in a little while. I got me a move, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too quick. He crazy. He need a brain scan. So when I was going to school over there in Athens, do what? Yeah, well, of course, go Dogs. I mean, that goes without saying, you know. And it was great over there at the museum a while ago. They had a movie clip of Ty Cobb's career, and Larry Munson was narrating. So there you go. That's a fun fact, fun things to know and tell. So all the boys would get together like on a Wednesday, and we would look in the newspaper and see what was showing at the picture show, and we would pick the lamest, tamest movie that was showing, so that when we picked our dates up on Fridays, when their daddy asked what we were going to do, we'd say, oh, we're going to go down there and see that new Walt Disney movie down at the Beechwood Cinema down there. And they would say, oh, I understand, this is a very good movie. Y'all go have a good time. And then we'd get in the car and head straight to the woods. So we'd go parking, and we always drove a Pontiac at our house, and I would borrow Daddy's Pontiac every now and then when I was feeling extra special sporty. So this song, I wrote this song, and all it is about that. We had a good record on it too. Kick it off if you be so kind back there. All day Friday, I'd be daydreaming of borrowing my old man's Catalina and picking up my baby just as the sun went down. We look in the paper and see what was showing in case her daddy asked us where we were going. Then we'd head on out to a place that we'd found on the outskirts of town. Out on Shadow Road, where we all used to go, where part of growing up was learning about love by the light of the radio, and not a care in the world, just a boy and a girl, and we found out all we need to know out on Moon Shadow Road. It's where we learn about giving and taking, and how young love can be heartbreaking. We took our first chances and made our first mistakes. Just an old dirt road in the middle of nowhere, but there's so much that we came to know there. And I'll always remember sweet summer nights that felt so right. Out on Blue Shadow Road, where we all used to go, where part of growing up was learning about love by the light of the radio, and not a care in the world, So some of y'all might have heard me tell this. So I was out on the road with Merle Haggard. I had a whole bunch of Merle Haggard albums, and you know, back when it was 12-inch vinyl and you had the album cover, your favorite albums would be all scratched up, and the album cover would be all fuzzy around the corners and had split open. You'd tape it back up, and you knew those were the ones you really loved. So I wanted Merle to sign my albums, and I kept leaving them at the house. I kept forgetting to bring them to the bus, and finally one night I remembered, and it was probably maybe 8 or 10 or 12, something like that. It was a stack of them about like that, and I had his autobiography too. So we were out in Tyler, Texas, playing at a place called the Oil Palace. It's a big old, been there a long time, big old place. And I remember it was me and then John Conley and Merle. And this would have been, I don't know what year it was, but anyway, after my show, I went out to Merle's bus and just to kind of pay my respects and say hey, and you know, like you do. And he always treated me great, man. He always treated me like a regular guy. He didn't blow me off or look down his nose at me or anything. He was really, we had a good friendship. So he said, hey man, what you doing, you know? And I said, well, I got some stuff I'd like for you to sign, if you don't mind. I said, it's kind of a stack of stuff. He said, don't worry about it. And I laid them down on the table, and he was thumbing through those albums, and they were just beat up. And he made him so, it was like the ultimate compliment to him that they had been listening so many times. He looked up and said, man, Brown, you've listened to these before, haven't you? I said, yes, sir, I learned a lot from you. So I got a bunch of Merle Haggard stories, but that's one I like the best. Let's do Today I Started Loving You Again. Y'all want to do that?
1, 2,
yo! Well, today I started loving you again, and I'm right back where I've really always been. I got over you just long enough to let my heart ache, and then today I started loving you again. Started loving you again. I got over you. Did love enough to let my heart ache then. And then the dog started loving you again. What a band. And Dave Northrop back there on the drums. Vale, you did a good job over there, man. I didn't know you were going to show out that good. That's awesome. So a friend of mine named Steve Cropper wrote this next song. And it's a phone number, is the title of it, is 634-5789. And I think he was writing it with Eddie Floyd. I can't remember, but they were in Memphis. And Steve told me they were at the Lorraine Motel. This is a place that Martin Luther King got killed. And they couldn't figure out a phone number. And he said Eddie Floyd was over in the corner of they were in the hotel room, and he said Eddie was over in the corner, you know, and they had his face, you know, looking at the corner. And they were trying to come up with a phone number that worked for him. And he said Eddie looked out the window, and there was a billboard out there advertising something, and it had the right phone number. They said, let's do that. So anyway, kick it off, and let's be so kind back there with your talk. I'll do it one more time. If you need a little loving, call on me. If you want a little kissing, honey, call on me. Yes, I'll be right here at home. All you got to do is pick up the telephone. 634-5789. 634-5789. Now you need a little smooching, honey, call on me. If you need a little hugging, honey, call on me. No more lonely nights you'll be alone. All you gotta do is pick up the phone. 634-5789. 634-5789. Well, I'll be right there just as soon as I can. Oh, but if I be a little bit late, I hope that you understand. up on 7, 8, 9. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you still with me out there? I got to feel the love. I got to feel the love. So this next song would have been the #1 country sound, probably 1987-ish, something like that. And a buddy of mine named Russell Smith wrote this next song. He's the guy, he had a band called the Amazing Rhythm Aces. He's the guy that wrote and sang Third Rate Romance, Low Rent Rendezvous. And he wrote this one. It's called Don't Go to Strangers. All over town, bars are closing down. One by one, the lights grow dim. I've been sitting here drinking and thinking about you out somewhere with him. He's just one of the many men you've tried. Still you tell me you ain't satisfied. You want some love. Well, don't go to strangers. I've seen you out on the prowl like this, night after night after night, out looking for love, but you settle for a kiss and unknown arms to hold you tight. Oh, but it seems no matter what you do, it never turns out like you wanted it to. You want some love, true love, love. If you want some love, honey, don't go to strangers. Every night I have this dream you're gonna wake up and understand that all the love you've been looking for, it's right here in your hand. Whoa, my love. Now how many nights you gonna lay down your sweet love to someone you don't really want? Can't you see you'd be happy with me? I'd be much more girl than a confidant. 'Cause I'm the one you tell your troubles to, and you told me everything, but I love you. You want some love, true love. Another fun fact, this next song was written by a buddy of mine that I write songs with sometimes. We have an album called Forever Changed, and there's a song on there called Soul Talk that Jason Crabb's singing with me on, and we wrote this song. His name's Danny Flowers. He used to work with Don Williams. He said he was in a hotel room waiting on sound check. He wrote this song, took it to sound check, played it for Don Williams. Don Williams put it in the show that night, cut it. It was a huge hit. Eric Clapton had a huge hit on it. And Danny Flowers did well. He did well. Well, I left Oklahoma, riding in a Pontiac, just about to lose my mind. I was going to Arizona, maybe on to California, where people all live so fine. My baby said I was crazy, my mama called me lazy. I was gonna show them all this time, 'cause I don't need no more schooling. You know I ain't no fool. I was born to just walk the line. Yeah, living on Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. Oh, I set my clock back to it. You know I've been through it. I'm living on Tulsa time. Hey, Jeff. Well, now there I was in Hollywood, wishing I was doing good, talking on the telephone line. But they don't need me in the movies, nobody sang my song. I guess I'm just wasting time. Well, then I got to thinking, man, I'm really sinking. I really had a flash this time. Well, I got no business leaving. Nobody would be grieving if I went back to Tulsa time. Yeah, I'm living on Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. Oh, you know I've been through it. I set my clock back to it. I'm living on Tulsa time. Yeah, I'm living on Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. You know I've been through it. When I set my watch back to it, I'm living on Tulsa time. Woo. Tulsa time. It's probably been a while since you heard that, actually. I like to throw those kind in every now and then. Because you know why? Because I can tell a fun fact. Fun things to know and tell. You know, did we ever learn yesterday, just fooling around? We were in Florida last night, down around Orlando, in Weirsdale, actually. And we were kind of doing nightlife. You think we can do that?
Yeah, right.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, we never have done it in front of anybody. We did it yesterday at sound check, just messing around. But if we can do it, that'd be fun. Huh? when the evening sun goes down, you'll find me hanging around. Well, the nightlife ain't no good life. Whoa, but it's my life. Many people just like me, dreaming of what used to be. What a nightlife ain't no good life, but it's my life. Listen to the blues they play. Listen to what the blues are saying. Many people just like me, dreaming of what used to be. You know the nightlife ain't no good life, but it's my life. Hey, Tim. Listen to what the blues are saying. Listen to what the blues are playing. This is just another scene from the boulevard of broken dreams. I said the nightlife ain't no good life, but it's my life. What a nightlife ain't no good life, but it's my life. That wasn't too bad for making it up as you go. We'll have to learn that someday. Yeah. Let's do If You Could Only See Me Now. Okay. Can we do that? Sure. We had a good record. This would have been the sound about sometime in the 90s. I can't remember. I tried to be just what you want. Well, but I was always wishing on the moon. Things were always going wrong. Oh, it took so long. And you just left me way too soon. If you could only see me now. Now I've turned my life around completely. If I could bring you back somehow, something in your eyes. If you could only see me now. Some crazy dream was always waiting down some road I had to follow to the end. Oh, I meant to come back home, but time kept rolling on. I'd love to have that chance again. If you could only see me now. Now I've turned my life around completely. If I could bring you back somehow, I know that I can make you proud to love me. I think you'd be surprised, I'd be something in your eyes. If you could only see me now. Well, I think you'd be surprised, I'd be something in your eyes. If you could only see me now. So, thank y'all. I was thinking, I sang that one on Country's Family Reunion one day. Y'all watch that show, Country's Family Reunion? Well, we have a great time. I'm telling you, I'm just so honored to be included in that because it is something else. I remember, so George Lindsay, that played Goober in the Andy Griffith Show, was a dear friend of mine. When I love the Andy Griffith Show, I actually know too much about the Andy Griffith Show because I've watched it so many times. As a matter of fact, I had a Floyd DeBarber shirt on today. And the only reason I had it on is the Floyd DeBarber, a different Floyd DeBarber shirt that I was wearing yesterday was dirty, so I had two. I had two different ones out this trip. So we were in Hollywood. We were playing a show with Kenny Rogers at a place called the Universal Amphitheater. It's right there at Universal City, right there in the middle of everything. And there's this hotel right next to the Universal Amphitheater, and it's called the Sheraton Universal. It's a nice thing. I don't even know if it's there now. This would have been 1986, maybe, something like that. So I was in my room, and the phone rang, and I answered it, and he said, T. Graham Brown? I said, yes, sir. He said, this is George Lindsay. He was calling me, and he was a fan, and he was calling me. Man, I was just knocked out that Goober was calling me. And so he said, look, are y'all going to be here in the morning? I said, yes, sir. He said, how about let me buy you and the band breakfast? And we said, oh, yeah. I said, man, you just say when. And so we met down there in the restaurant, and I think there was probably 7 of us all together. And, man, we picked his brain. I bet we were there 3 hours and just laughing and having a blast. So I've been knowing him that long. And I remember I was watching Country's Family Reunion one night because I had sang If You Could Only See Me Now, and I wanted to check myself out, see if I was doing it good and all that, you know. And I was singing it in the middle of the song, you know, when they were showing different shots of people, and Goober was sitting over there asleep. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's one of my goober stories. I got a bunch of them, but he was really paying attention. Let's do Big City. Oh! 3, 1, 2. Well, I'm tired of this dirty old city, and I'm tired of too much work and never enough pay. Yeah, and I'm tired of this dirty old sidewalk. I think I'll walk off my steady job today. Yeah, to turn me loose, set me free, somewhere in the middle of Montana. Yeah, and give me all I've got, coming to me, and keep your retirement and your so-called Social Security. Yeah, and the big city turned it loose and set me free. Hey, Jim. Well, I've been working every day since I was 20, and I ain't got a thing to show for anything I've done. Well, there's folks that's never worked, son, and they got plenty. I think it's time that guys like us had some fun. Yeah, to turn me loose, set me free, somewhere in the middle of Montana. Yeah, and give me all I've got, coming to me, and keep your retirement and your so-called Social Security. Yeah, and the big city turned me loose and set me free. Yeah, and the big city turned me loose and set me free. Whoa! We were out in Fort Worth here a while back, and we played that song, and man, they were hooping and hollering. I said, kick it off. And we did it again. We did it, 2 times. And they were still hooping and hollering. I said, kick it off again. And so we played it 3 times. And they were still hollering. I said, kick it off again. We played it 4 times in a row. And they still hollering out there. This water's good. Say again. I can't. I'm going to tell you what. That story about us getting married is the absolute truth. But I heard from those folks as kids, and it hurt their feelings. And I never felt worse. And I wrote them a note and said, I'm so sorry. Wasn't even thinking that it would hurt y'all's feelings. And I promised God I would never tell that story again, so I can't tell it. If you want to see it, if you want to hear it, you're going to have to get that episode of Country's Family Reunion and play it yourself, because I can't say it. I can't do it. What we got coming up, boys? Oh, yeah. Okay, let me tell you. Here's another fun fact. So this next song is called Brilliant Conversationalist. And my second album on Capitol was called Brilliant Conversationalist. So we had this song out, and it was a hit. So they sent for me Capitol Records sent me out to Hollywood. Again, I ain't trying to drop names. It just happens that this is what happened. And there's this building out in Hollywood that's round, it's white, and it looks like a stack of records. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it, but that's called the Capitol Tower. That's where Capitol Records is. So when I was in L.A., that's where I would be. So they wanted me to do a video of Brilliant Conversationalist. So we were going to shoot it and all, and the director said, look, right in this part right here, we want you to moonwalk. That was when Michael Jackson had just come out moonwalking, and moonwalking was the big thing, you know. So they told me they wanted me to moonwalk in it, and I told him I didn't know how to moonwalk. He said, it's easy, you can do it. I said, no, I can't, I don't know how. So there was this band called New Edition, and there was this fellow in New Edition that knew how to moonwalk, so they hired him, called him up, and he came over, he was real nice, and so they filmed his feet moonwalking, and then they filmed me from about up from here. You'll have to go on YouTube and see it. It's really stupid looking. So they put it together, and when they filmed me up here to make it look like I was moonwalking, this is what I was doing. That's all. I wasn't even moving, y'all. And they put it together, man, it looked like I was moonwalking all over the place. So you'll have to go on YouTube and see it. 1, 2, 3. Cocktail talk, idle chatter, lipstick lips that flirt and flatter. Not a word I haven't heard before, till I saw her coming through the door. She let her walking, do her talking. She's a brilliant conversationalist. The more she moved, the more I was amazed how gracefully she could turn a phrase. Every thought so well expressed, and every line so picturesque. She let her walking, do her talking. She's a brilliant conversationalist. She had so many nice things to say, and I had never seen it but quite that way. Her nylons were whispering invitation. Her high heels provided all the punctuation. I spent the whole night watching her. She had me hanging on her every word. She let me know just what she had in mind. I walked her home one step behind. She let her walking, do her talking. She's a brilliant conversationalist. Yeah, she let her walking, do her talking. She's a brilliant conversationalist. You know the things I want to hear. Talk to me, baby. Oh, Lord have mercy, yeah. You know, I think I see what you mean, girl. Yeah, I believe I'll get your drift. I ain't gonna tell them about the singing. That might hurt somebody's feelings too. I'm having to check with Tim. See, Tim's a pastor. Tim leads the greatest pre-show prayer you've ever heard in your life. So I was asking him permission. He's like, he's my spiritual advisor. Yeah. Tim's all right, I'm telling you. Tim Coleman. Yeah. If we could just get him to learn how to blow that horn. Hey, let's do Hell in High Water. Let's do that one. I'll do Wine into Water, I promise.
Whoa.
I wrote this next song in 1984. I wrote it with, this is another fun fact, fun things to know and tell. I wrote this song with Alex Harvey. Alex is the guy that wrote Delta Dawn for Tanya, and he wrote Reuben James for Kenny Rogers, and he wrote a bunch of hits, and we got together. When we moved to Nashville, we had a 59 Ford station wagon and a rusted out 63 Volkswagen. And I remember I drove that Volkswagen over to Alex's house, and we went down his basement. He had a place to write, and we went down there and wrote this song. And he took me to play golf. He says we played golf first and then wrote the song. I say we wrote the song and then played golf, but it don't really matter, does it? Nope. That's a fun fact. You can make up your mind. This would have been the #1 country song about 86, something like that. Now, baby, don't worry. If it troubles your mind, 'cause it'll all wash away, girl, in the river of time. If you need a shoulder, well, I'll be around and be your rock to hold on to. Goes down. 'Cause it's hell and high water you going through. Come hell or high water, I'll be here waiting for you. I can't keep you from crying, and I can't stop your pain. And Lord, the brightest of sunshine, oh, it never could stop the rain. But you know that I'll be there, just like that old sun. I'm gonna be your good morning, baby, when your crying's all done. 'Cause it's hell and high water you're going through. Come hell or high water, I'll be here waiting for you. Already told y'all what everybody's name is up here. Or do you approve of the band today? Yes. Jeff, Tim, David, Vale, and what's your name? Peter? No. Saul? No, it ain't Saul. It used to be Saul, but now it's Paul.
That's right.
I am a Bible-believing Christian, and I don't care who knows it. I've got a gospel album that I did 3 or 4 years ago, and it's called Forever Changed. Sheila and I are part of a church building ministry. It's called International Cooperating Ministries. It's ICM.org. We churches in third world countries, and there's been 7,000 built so far, and we're on our way to 10,000. We build small churches. We don't build anything fancy. Like in a poor country, $5,000 can build a church. So that's to build it. A lot of times they make their own bricks. It's really something to see. We've got this song called Working on a Building that Trace Atkins and Marty Rabin and Jimmy Fortune and I did. If you want to see what a fast motion or time-lapse building of a church, one of the churches, go to Working on a Building and just plug in my name and it'll come up and you can see what we do. So we did this album. There was 2 reasons we did it. One, monies from the album go to the church building ministry, and the album's called Forever, and Sheila's got some wherever she is, I don't know, probably out in the lobby. And also I wanted to get Wine into Water back out to people because this really touched a lot of folks. So anyway, it's got Vince Gill and Oak Ridge Boys and Sonia Isaacs and Jeff and Sherry Easter from down in Lincolnton, I think's where they're from, and the Booth Brothers and Sonia Isaacs and a lot of people. 3 Bridges. It's just really a good record, I think. And the late, great Leon Russell's on there also. So anyway, I called Vince up and asked him if he would do a duet with me on this song we're fixing to do, and it was put it out, and it was a #1 gospel song. It's called He'll Take Care of You from the album Forever Changed. Kick it off back there, Wichita. 3, 2, 1. You say you got trouble down deep in your soul, in over your head and out of control. Just go to him and he'll take care of you. Now you can run to the doctor or psychiatrist, but you're never gonna figure out just what it is that you're going through. Oh, he knows all about you. He'll take care of everything. That's right. He's gonna soothe your soul and make your heart sing. Well, forget all your pain, forget the past. He knows what you need before you ask. Just go to him and he'll take care of you. No, you don't have to beg and you don't have to plead. Just tell him you love him. That's all he needs to pull you through. Oh, he'll take care of you. He'll take care of everything, yeah. He's gonna soothe your soul and make your heart sing. Go, Jeff. Well, have you had a good time? We want everybody to be happy. Got to thank Stan the Man, got to thank Wes, B&H Barbecue. It is B&H, ain't it? R&H. What? Bar H? Oh, I thought it was S&H. I'm sorry, Bar H. Hey, Bar H, I've heard a lot of compliments. I ain't got mine yet, but I'm hoping somebody puts some on the bus. Bar H. S&H. I was thinking of green stamps, I guess. Must have been. Man, we used to get those green stamps when I was little. Mama'd let us paste them in the book. We'd be looking to see what we could get. See, I remember. We did too. You know, one of my favorite things, I tell people. So, I spent my boyhood years down in Araby, Georgia, which is 70 miles south of Macon. Daddy moved us down there, and he started a grain elevator down there. And this is good. So, you know, I tell my son, and he can't believe it. I said, man, when I grew up, there was 3 channels. There was ABC, CBS, NBC, and maybe PBS, but we couldn't get it down in South Georgia. We couldn't pick it up. And he can't believe it. I said, yep, there was no Cartoon Network. If you wanted to watch cartoons, it was on Saturday morning, and that was all you could get. And they might throw in a Tarzan movie. Every Tarzan movie, it don't matter which one, it's always got that scene of him riding on the back of a rhinoceros, stabbing him with that rubber knife. And I really thought he was swinging on a vine. I didn't know it was a trapeze, you know. I was like Tarzan. So there was a station in Albany that was one, I can't remember NBC. There was one in Albany. There was one in Columbus that we got, and I think the third one was in Macon. I can't remember for sure. But we had an antenna out on the side of the house, and I was my daddy's remote control. If he wanted to change stations, because you had to point the antenna at the station, you know, he'd say, Tony, go turn the antenna. So I'd have to get out there and, like if he wanted to change it from Bonanza to Ed Sullivan Show or whatever, you know, Tony, go turn the antenna. So I would go out there, and it was in the bushes. I'd have to get out behind the bush. It came up the side of the house. We had some rich friends that had one of those things on the top of their TV. They could just turn it, you know, and it would move by itself. But Daddy was too cheap to get one of those, so he had me. And there was a window right here, and the TV was like right there, and he'd be looking, he'd go, whoa! Go back, you went too far. Whoa! Did y'all do that? Yeah. So anyway.
Fun facts.
The Ty Cobb Museum is the beneficiary of this concert tonight. So please visit the Ty Cobb Museum. It's awesome. We got to go over there and see everything. And they're getting ready to break ground on a new one. So when we saw some films on him, it was wonderful. Ty Cobb was great. Let me see if I want to make sure I tell everybody. Southern Impactt. Did y'all like them? Yeah. They were great. They were great. That's Impactt with 2 T's on the end. So I had a really bad, I developed a really bad alcohol and drug problem. And I was always up and down and up and down. And Sheila found a doctor, and they diagnosed me as bipolar. And Sheila said, well, that answered a lot of questions there. But But they put me on this medicine. So anybody out there that's bipolar, if you know anybody in the family, a lot of people don't like to talk about mental illness. I'm mentally ill and I got it under control, and they got medicine, and it makes me where I can live a life. So don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of it. If you need it, find you a good doctor, because there's hope, I guarantee you. Because, you know, it's hard on the family to live with somebody that's bipolar. So we were over at Vince Gill's one night, and Charlie Pride was there, and Charlie Pride's wife is named Rosine, and she and Sheila are really good friends, because Charlie's bipolar. And so her and Rosine get over here talking about, they're commiserating, you know, talking about me and Charlie, because Charlie's pretty crazy too. And so anyway, I tried to get sober a bunch of times, and I never could make it work. I would get on the horse and ride a while and fall off, and get back on the horse and ride a while and fall off, and I just couldn't make it work. So we wrote this song called Wine in the Water, but I was ashamed to sing it because I was still drinking, and I didn't want to do anything against God. So Sheila was encouraging me to sing it. So we were at Loretta Lynn's, and she said, you got to sing it tonight. So I sang it, and Loretta loved it. She's a great songwriter herself, a very good songwriter. Awesome. And she recorded it on an album, not just the last one she put out, but the one before it, about 4 years ago, I guess. So she put it in her show, and that kind of helped me out some, but I still couldn't stay straightened out. So this is an old cliche. You've heard this story before, but this is actually what happened. I woke up. I got to where I was getting up and pouring vodka in my coffee. It was serious. And you would have thought I'd have learned. My brother Keith Whitley died that way, and you'd have thought maybe it would have knocked some sense into me, but it didn't. And so one day I woke up hungover. If you don't know what hungover is, it's your body's just aching, you're sick, you got a headache, it's just awful. And the only way to get over a hangover is start drinking again. And so I remember I looked in the mirror, and I looked so bad. It was scary to me, actually. It terrified me. And I said to myself, man, what are you doing? You're about to blow everything. You know, you're smarter than this. And I asked God to help me. And you know, man, since then he took it right off of me. And I haven't had one craving or anything, man. I mean, it was like it never happened before. So if you're in trouble like that, if you're in trouble with anything, you can ask God to help you. You got to be sincere about it, though, because God knows what you're thinking. You can't con God, so there ain't no need of trying. But if you're sincere about it, straightening up, then whatever the problem is, God will help you out. And I tell people that this country is in a crazy, crazy state. I never have seen it so nutty. But don't let it shake you up too bad, because God is still on the throne 24/7, and everything's going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right, I promise. I got peace of mind, and I've read the back of the book, and we win, so I ain't worried about it. Ain't that right, Tim? I am not worried about it. So anyway, God bless the United States of America. God bless all our veterans and police and nurses and doctors and ambulance drivers and all the people that take care of us. And I love y'all very much. Thanks for coming. Let's do Wine in the Water. And if anybody, wait a minute, if anybody wants to say, hey, get your neck hugged, have a picture made, get an autograph, any of that stuff, there's a table. I think it's out. Wherever it is, I'm going to be out there. So if you'd like to come by and say, hey, please do. All right. I hope somebody gets a blessing out of this. This timed out just right. a multitude of prayers on my behalf. And I pray one more is not too much to ask. I've tried to fight this battle by myself, but it's a war that I can't win without your help. Tonight I'm as low as any man can go. I'm down and I can't fall much farther. And once upon a time you turned the water into wine. And now on my knees I'm turning to you, Father. Could you help me turn the wine back into water? So many times I've hurt the ones I love. I pushed them to the edge of giving up. They stood by me, but how much can they stand if I don't put this bottle in your hands? Tonight I'm as low as any man can go. I'm down and I can't fall much farther. And once upon a time you turned the water into wine. And now on my knees I'm turning to you, Father. Could you help me turn the wine back into water? I shook my fist at heaven for all the hell that I've been through. But now I'm begging for forgiveness and a miracle from you. 'Cause tonight I'm as low as any man can go. I'm down and I can't fall much farther. And once upon a time you turned the water into wine. And now on my knees I'm turning to you, Father. Could you help me turn the wine back into water? Would you help me turn this wine back into water? I just want, my mom and daddy are here today, and I just want to tell them I love y'all so much, and thanks for helping us all these years. We appreciate y'all. And I want to thank Sheila Brown, because it was her love and the grace of God that I'm even standing up here today. Thank y'all, mucho gracias. I love y'all. Thank y'all.
We got through it, baby. Woo.